You're watching the Batter Fans Network.
Sahana, the Heater back. Welcome everybody to episode number 20 of the Batter Heat Fans Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Granada, and we are on fire. Solana, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing just like the Heat. I'm on fire. Another 140-point game. Oh my God. I love the hair. I love the glasses. I'm gonna have to borrow that. I'm gonna have to borrow that hair to go to a game. That is awesome.
I had the Goku going. I can't see. It's too hot on the. Man, what a freaking game! And you know what's awesome? We're celebrating the 10th win in our 20th episode.
That's huge. That is huge. And we've been saying the magical number for the battered Heat fans has been 10 wins in the first 20 games. They did it with 4 games to spare. And we still have a pretty interesting calendar over the next week. You know, we play tomorrow against Philadelphia. A weird game, 1:00 game, Danny. Then we play we play the Dallas Mavericks on Monday. Should be a win. Then another NBA Cup game. Let me tell you, Danny, I love the NBA Cup. I didn't used to like it.
Wow, okay.
But this year, for some reason, I'm buying into the NBA Cup, and I'm buying into the Heat's chances of getting out of the NBA Cup of group for the first time ever.
It's funny because I have seen a lot of people doing the math. Like, oh, okay, we got the point differential. We went here, we lost there. The people are buying in, and that's how everybody usually fights change at first, and then you kind of just get used to it. And you're like, F it, if it's there, might as well try to get it.
Absolutely. I mean, I want to make it to Vegas, man. I want to make it to Vegas. I want the Heat to play a game in Vegas. I think it'll be a lot of fun for the fans. And look, if they get a chance to actually win the NBA Cup, I know it doesn't really mean much, but it's a really cool trophy to win, and it would be a really good gift for the fan base after, you know, the Jimmy saga last year and everything going on. To come back and win the NBA Cup would be huge for the franchise.
Yeah, absolutely. It just good feels all around, especially after last night's game. If you haven't already, appreciate everybody that's kind of supported us early on. We're a month in. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. And 20 games in is what we said. That was the marker, because at the end, the last game of November, which is against the Pistons, we said rough schedule, West Coast trip, playoff teams, Knicks like 3 times. We're like, it's Cavs twice. We said, okay, after 20 games, if we are 10-10 at worst, we're going to be top 4 in the East. It took us 16 games, episode number 20. We are 10 wins in and not healthy yet. Now, I don't want to talk about health too much just because it feels like, okay, we start celebrating possibly getting healthy, and all of a sudden Norman Powell all of a sudden starts, maybe he messed up his groin, and then it just kind of gets a little worrisome. So I'm gonna avoid talking health. The Keshad Johnson game is what this is officially going to be dubbed. Shout out to Keshad Johnson. I was listening to his post-game interview. Kind of sounds like Jay-Z to me, a young Jay-Z. The first time I hear his voice, he sounds like a young Jay-Z in his cadence. Maybe not the voice exactly, but if you listen to his cadence, it's interesting listening to him speak. But awesome for him. What did you think of last night's game overall? Because it was just so many things to cover, because it was effing awesome.
I mean, I thought it was great, right? I even mentioned I didn't think the Heat were going to make it to 140 points after the first quarter. You know, they made 36 points. They had 34 in the second, which gave them 70 overall. Another time where they reached 70 points in the first half, Danny. But I didn't think they were going to make it to 140 points, especially, you know, when they hit 100 going into the fourth quarter. I just didn't think that they would do it. But again, unbelievable, the game. You mentioned Keshad Johnson. It's the Keshad Johnson game. 14 points, 11 rebounds, 24 plus minus. I know that's your favorite stat, Danny. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't even the number 1 guy on the Heat in plus minus yesterday. You know who the number 1 guy was?
Pelle Larsson?
Yeah, that's right. Pelle Larsson, 29 points plus minus, 16 points from the field, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, filling in a huge game where Andrew Wiggins wasn't available for the Heat. And I have to shout out one more guy, Danny, because we've been talking about this guy all season long, Davion Mitchell. Mitchell, 16 points, 6 assists, no rebounds, but the magical number for Davion Mitchell was 0, also 0 turnovers, 6 assists, 0 turnovers. I mean, I cannot say enough about Davion Mitchell, what he's done for this team all year long. And he had some really clutch baskets there in the fourth quarter as he was driving one-on-one against the Bulls defense.
I'm starting to get on your son's train. Like I know your son is on the Davion Mitchell train. Like he's his favorite player. I'm starting to get there. I decided to wear my Gary Payton jersey today because Gary Payton growing up was one of my favorite players. Like it was really cool when he came to Miami and I got to see him in person because I love that pitbull. I love that defensive tenacity. But Davion Mitchell has surprised me offensively so far because the thing with him, like, his outside shot isn't great. He doesn't shoot great, but the way he's been getting into the to the paint and doing that scoop layup off the top of the backboard, off the left, from the right, they're starting to respect it. And towards the end of the game, they couldn't play him tight. They had to sag off a little bit so to defend the drive. So he would drive and then he would just stop and pull up for the midi, and he's hitting those also. If he starts hitting that midi, Davion Mitchell has already been a problem. He's going to be a bigger problem. Davion Mitchell is having himself one hell of a season. I love what he's bringing. And then yesterday, one of the biggest surprises to me was that they decided to go with the big lineup since Andrew Wiggins wasn't out. I wasn't sure what they were going to do, but they gave Khalil Ware. I mean, I guess they had to, right? Who else were they going to put? They couldn't put Jaime in the starting lineup. Khalil Ware, Bam, and it worked. Bam kind of stretching out to be that 3-point guy. Khalil Ware playing that dunker spot position. Both of them diving to the basket. It's just everything was clicking yesterday, and it just felt really effing good.
It did. Everybody, seemed to have a great game. Everybody played strong. I think it was the right decision to include Khalil Ware in the starting lineup, considering that the Bulls started Nikola Vucevic, as a center, and he's a big guy. So I like that Spo went with Khalil Ware in the starting lineup. He continues to maintain that second unit that's been so vital in this season so far. And look, Spo, we always talk about it. He always finds a way to make the right substitution, the right change, the right play call so far this season. And yesterday was another example of Spo just terribly, out coaching Billy Donovan. I'm looking at the Bull stats. Not one guy had a positive plus minus.
Well, I mean, you get your ass kicked by almost 40. It's almost impossible for somebody to have a plus minus. And before I keep going, Keshad Johnson, I didn't get to talk about Keshad Johnson too much. Keshad Johnson not only was an amazing game, I think it was last episode. We were joking around about how, he played 2 minutes, he got 2 rebounds. That's a rebound per game. That's big time. Well, you know what? This is the type of player that you need. And people, including myself, I don't know if you want to include yourself in there, unfairly judged Keshad Johnson so far in the early part of the season, because when he was being put out there, as a center because Bam was out. So he was playing as the 5, defending Nikolai Jovic and all the big men. Like they gave him a really tough assignment. That wasn't his natural position. Obviously, he's a lot smaller than these guys. When you put him next to Bam, next to Khalil Ware, you saw what he could do, the energy that he brings, the rebounding. I have it here. In the first half, 4 minutes, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 2 blocks. A plus minus of positive 11. What else could you ask for from a player like that? That's what you want. Those role players that know this is how I'm going to make my living in the NBA. I'm just going to hustle, play my ass off. Keshad Johnson is going to be a regular stay if he can keep doing that in the NBA.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what the Heat do, right, Danny? The Heat do this. They get these players who are unknowns, they insert them into their lineup, and they play great. We've seen it over and over and over again, year after year. Spo always seems to find the diamond in the rough, some new player who has been unheard of. This year, obviously, we have Keshad Johnson, who didn't get a lot of minutes on the team last year. He was on the team last year, but this year, because of injuries, because of whatever the reason may be, he is getting some of those minutes. And at the beginning of the season, like you said, Danny, he was playing out of position. He didn't seem like he was gelling with the team. But over the last couple of games that he's played, we've seen a different Keshad Johnson. And this is a Keshad Johnson that we need if we're going to, finish top 4 in the East, like we said. at the beginning of the season.
Fuck top 4, top 2, baby. We're feeling good right now. We haven't been healthy yet. Things are looking good. Kashad Johnson, 2 for 5 from 3. When he hit that first 3 in the second quarter, I was like, oh shit, okay. All right, Kashad. I was getting really excited for Kashad Johnson. Simone Fontecchio didn't have his best night, but he still managed to contribute in other ways, which is what you want from a team like this. It's just Khalil Ware, 14 boards, 20 points. And my favorite part of those 20 points is that they were all from the dunker spot. Like, he was getting in position to score inside. He only took 1 3. He missed it. Still managed to get 20 points. How many offensive rebounds did he have? 4 offensive rebounds, 1 block, 2 steals, and then probably the highlight of the game where they tried to pass it over him. He deflected it, caught it, gave it over to Jaime. Jaime dribbles it down, gives it right back to Khalil for the alley-oop. Probably the highlight of the game. Khalil Ware had himself. If Khalil Ware could keep playing like this next to Bam, and I understand it's one game, right? You know, things can fluctuate, but the vibes are high.
The vibes are high, and he's developed a really good chemistry with Pelle Larsson, right? We've seen Pelle Larsson on the assist side of those Khalil Ware dunks for most of the year, and we saw it again last night. You know, he gave him 2, 3, 4 alley oops, and Khalil Ware's finishing them. So, you know, we have to really talk about the team chemistry that they've built so far in the first 16 games this season, Danny. It's again, this is the most fun Heat team I have been a part of, or I've been able to experience since I became a season ticket holder in 2002.
And Pelle Larsson, man, that his back to the basket, Khalil Ware on the other side of the basket, he kind of just threw it over his left shoulder. He knew where he was going to be. Like you said, the chemistry on this team is looking good. Norman Powell, you know, another steady night, 19 points. Luckily, he came back to the game because it was a little bit of a scare. Hopefully, he's okay, because my worry is now that he's going to be out for a couple of games, resting his, I think it was his groin.
His groin, his left groin. That's something that he missed a couple of games earlier. Correct. He missed a couple of games earlier in the year because of that same groin. So, you know that groins are a tough injury to come back from. They can get re-aggravated, you know, in any second, especially the way that you play basketball, the way that when you defend that you're sliding back and forth, and that's something that can get re-aggravated. And so, you know, he just needs to take very good care of it. And he showed his grittiness, right? He showed how much Heat guts he has. Because even though he got injured in the first quarter, he came back and he had a fantastic game, like you said, 19 points, and was really good in that second half. You know, allowing the Heat to maintain that 20-point lead, not only maintain it but to grow it to 40 points. And it was unbelievable, man. I mean, my hat's off to Norman Powell. He is by far a living, breathing Heat culture model.
Absolutely. Jaime Jaquez, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 2 offensive rebounds, which I believe he got off of his own missed shots, I think maybe twice. You know, that's something that I really liked, is that they were getting behind their missed shots. They were getting offensive rebounds off of their own missed shots. They had 15 offensive rebounds. They held the Bulls to 39 rebounds, and they were missing a lot of shots too, because they shot
41
90 shots,
41%, 90 shots. Yeah, the Heat took 10 more shots than the Bulls at 100. And they took less 3-pointers, right? They took less 3-pointers, more 2-pointers. But the other stat that was big was the Heat were so aggressive last night that they got to the free throw line 44 times, where the Bulls only got there 28 times. That's almost double. That's almost double. Yeah. I mean, they were that aggressive, and it wasn't like the referees were calling ticky-tack fouls or anything. I mean, these were legit fouls because the Heat were so aggressive, driving to the basket, getting to the paint, getting to the hole, that the referees were forced to blow the whistle.
Speaking of ticky-tack, though, that ejection, that was kind of wild.
It was
wild.
It was, but I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
No, and I get it, right? He made contact with the ref. That was wild. Like, when they reviewed it, I thought they would see that he kind of hit it away, but like it wasn't out of malice. It wasn't like full force. I thought that was kind of wild. But they're already getting blown out. It doesn't matter, but that's kind of wild. Fontecchio, 1 for 10 from 3, a very rare off night. But like I said, he contributed in other ways. And Pelle Larsson, one thing that I didn't want to forget to mention, Eric Reed yelling, "Thunder!" And not only did he yell that during the broadcast, but Pelle Larsson followed that up because I don't think he knew that the windmill dunk was coming. But he said it, and then Pelle Larsson kind of came through with the windmill. That was a pretty cool moment. Also rocking the number 9. I'm not sure if there was a reason why he did it, but that was very, very cool.
It was a throwback to Thunder Dan.
Mhm.
But not only that, have you seen Eric Reed's calls so far this year? When Bam Adebayo makes a three, he calls it a kabam.
Yes.
When Fontecchio made a three yesterday, he called it bellissimo.
Yes, I heard that
So
one too.
so Eric Reed's calls this year have been fantastic. We're normally used to the kaboom for threes. He has changed, or he has adapted to this new Heat lineup, and he's got kabam, he's got bellissimo, and he's got a bunch of different ways to say the threes. I mean, shout out to Eric Reed, historic Heat broadcaster.
Well, you know what was really interesting is that yesterday, coincidentally, now we were talking about it. Coincidentally, yesterday, he said that he stole the kaboom from the Chicago Bulls broadcaster, color commentator, I believe. No, the play-by-play guy. And he said that yesterday. I thought that was very interesting. He kind of said that, I took it from him. He obviously made it better, right? But like Jay-Z says, you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. Eric Reed is killing it with the kabooms. But that was very interesting. I did not know that he took that from someone else. But it's an Eric Reed thing. At least here in Miami, it is.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, and if you're part of the business, you guys, you share your lines, you share your things. But it was really cool that he would, give the Bulls broadcasters their flowers. You don't really hear, you don't really hear that on live broadcast that often, right?
Correct. All right. So I wanted to bring up one stat real quick that my brother texted us, and now I see why he wrote 5. So before the year 2025, right? The calendar year 2025, the Miami Heat had scored over 140 points, and obviously the NBA's changed, right? So it's a lot more common now. But the Miami Heat has scored over 140 points 7 times in their entire history. In the year 2025, they did it once last season, April 11th, and then they've done it 4 times this season. They've done it 5 times already. So, new brand of Miami basketball is what we're witnessing right now. Obviously, the NBA has changed, but Miami took a while to kind of become part of this new NBA where you're kind of putting up shots and playing at a faster pace because people have been scoring like this recently. Miami's just here, but very cool stat. 7 times before 2025, 5 times just this calendar year, over 140 points. So it's fun, man. It's been fun watching it. And now I guess let's get to the nitty gritty of the NBA Cup. Here are the standings. Miami sits half a game behind the Milwaukee Bucks. They play Milwaukee next week. So you would figure, okay, we play Milwaukee. That's great. We win. We're in. But unfortunately, the Miami Heat laid an egg against the New York Knicks that were Jalen Brunson-less. And because of that, they do not control their own destiny because if the Knicks win their 2 remaining games, which is against the Hornets and against those same Bucks that we play, they are in. So this point differential is great, 46, but unfortunately, if the Knicks don't lose against the Hornets or the Bucks, I believe, and I think I'm correct when I say this, and somebody correct me in the comments later if I'm wrong, I believe head-to-head is the first tiebreaker. So because of that loss, we would not be able to move on to Vegas.
Well, I'm gonna give you a not a stat, but some hope, Danny, some hope, because I just read that 8 teams will qualify from the NBA Cup group stage, the 6 group winners, and then 2 wild card teams, 1 from each conference. The wild card is the team from each conference with the best record among the second place teams in their group. Obviously, we know that the Heat right now hold the best point differential other than Toronto. So it's very, very possible, Danny, if the Heat go ahead and beat the Milwaukee Bucks, that even though they don't control their own destiny to win Group C in the East, that they would still get in as the wild card team because of the point total and the point differential. So
We're
it's
still in
going
it,
to
baby.
be
We're still in it.
exactly. And I'm excited. Like I said, I'm buying in this year. I'm buying in. The Solana household is buying in to a lot of things this year. We're buying into Davion Mitchell. We're buying into the NBA Cup, and we're buying into the Heat finishing top 4, possibly top 2 in the East. And man, we're only 16 games in. We have a lot of games left to play, and I can't control my excitement. I don't know what's going to happen if we win another 5 in a row.
It's so cool that we said, man, please get to 10-10 after 20 games. And they did it by episode 20. We didn't need 20 games. We just needed 20 episodes. We are 10-6. Tyler Hero is rearing up. He might be back maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday. We don't know.
I heard Monday.
Oof. Ooh, you see that? You see that? Oh, man, this is all so fun. 16 games in. It's been one hell of a season. Possibly an NBA Cup run, which would be fun, right? Just because it gives you something to look forward to. I think that's it for today, Solana. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to address?
No, other than the fact that tomorrow's game's at 1 p.m. That's so random.
Very northeastern.
But that's what you told me. You told me it's a northeastern type of thing. So I'll be up watching the game with my son tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. And then, as everybody knows, a big Inter Miami game tomorrow night. So we will do some battered hair runs as well.
Mm-hmm.
Go check that out. Absolutely. And also don't forget to go check out batterfans.com and get all your Heat merchandise. Definitely go check out that Jaime Jaquez shirt. I want to see a lot of those Jaime Jaquez shirts around I call it American Airlines Arena still. I don't know.
I think you should, when I talk to my wife, I always say the AAA, because if I say Casilla, she won't know what I'm talking about. She remembers it as the AAA, so I have to always call it the AAA. So yeah, you know what? When the wins are like this, I also want the episode to end because it's so fun talking. But we'll wrap it up here because it's just the vibes are high, and let's keep it going. Turkey week is upon us. The holiday season really gets started, so all good times here. If you're listening on audio, make sure that you leave us a comment and 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, I don't know why you haven't liked and subscribed already, but if you haven't, go ahead and do that right now. Helps us a ton. We appreciate everybody that's been hanging out with us for the first 20 episodes, and we will be back on Monday talking some random-ass 1 o'clock game against the Philadelphia 76ers. So until the next one, have a good one.